Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear Dhamma friends, from last couple of weeks, we have started to study 37 factors of enlightenment, direct stations for reaching to the enlightenment, what is necessary, needed, or when we are traveling toward this, what kind of experience we will have, and how to change our mind, how to mold our mind according to this path that we are studying in this class. Okay, so this entire class, while we are looking at studying, remember that not so much, but try to implement these things in your day-to-day life, or while we are studying, try to have some experience from it, so we can discuss on basis on that. I know that it is very hard, not only for you but for us also. It's really difficult path to complete and continue. So if we don't take the effort, it will be very hard for us. Okay, so when we are learning like Kayanupassana, so be a little bit mindful of your all the everyday work, your chores, that I am doing this particular thing. Or when you are developing breathing meditation, yes, I am doing the breathing meditation. If you are sitting, standing, walking, or laying down, so be mindful of that. Yes, I am doing these things. When you move yourself, change postures, anything what you do, be mindful of that. So you will have some different experience from it. So entire Dhamma can relate, because Satipatthana is something that goes continuously. As you know that we have a rose body. So what happened that we have the majority of Patvi Dhatu, like we can see our visible form. So everything what we feel on this body, and then we think of it. Okay, so for the heavenly beings, it is something a little bit different. They have the mind as a stronger one. So the most of, if they want to develop these 37 factors, they do from the Chittanupassana in a way, because the mind is more active, mind is more working. That's why the Supreme Buddha teach them Abhidhamma directly, which is directly related to the mind. So we also have that part of Chittanupassana, or working on your mind. That only can happen when you understand what is your body is, or how it works, what kind of feelings arise in this body. For that, you will need awareness. And that awareness, that mindfulness will come from the Kayanupassana. So when we are studying this, be mindful of that. Okay? That's a little bit instruction for it. So last week we learned about Kayanupassana's first part. We studied breathing meditation. Then we studied Sampajanya Bhavana, or posture meditation. So these three things we completed last week. And today we're going to learn two more meditation, and 2 or 3 meditation we will start to. Remember that these all things is related directly to us, nothing outside. Okay, so all the negativity or positivity you should balance in that, okay? Because these meditations are just the truth, and we know that truth is a little bit bitter for us. So when you do this, remember that. Today we're going to learn the Pilikul Bhavana. Uh, Pilikul Bhavana, it's called impurities. Impurities in us. So like we begin always the sutta that ekayanoyan bhikkhave maggo sattanam visuddhiya. Monks, this is the only path which leads toward purification of beings. Soka paridavanan samatikkama, to get rid of all the suffering. So attaining or realization for enlightenment, there is this one path, and that one path is Satipatthana. So in that Satipatthana, first portion is called Kayanupassi Viharati. So develop mindfulness or body, establishment of mindfulness on the body. That is the first. So in there, so this body, you have to see what it is. So in Pilikula Bhavana, the impurities. So impurities, what we see, it is inside. You may have seen the people that whenever you see homeless person, how we imagine that. So no one has there is no bath, they don't look good, So or when we go outside, whenever we see something impure things, what kind of face we make? We don't like to see the bad things. We don't like to, and we blame that, okay, no one is taking care of this, so cleaning that we prefer to have in our life. But the biggest thing is that all the impurities, what we see outside world, it is inside of us too. And when we become mindful of that, so the direct attachment toward it in this body, we can understand it properly. So the Pilikul Bhavana begins like this. Punacha parang bhikkhave bhikkhu. Again, big monks. There is the bhikkhu. Imasmin kai. Imasmin means in this body, our own body. Imasmin. In this body, uddhang padatala adhoke samattaka tachaparyantam pura nanapakaras asujino vachavekati. It means uddhang padatala, from our feet, adhoke samattaka, below the hairs of our head hairs, tachaparyantam pura, which is covered our body with this skin. See, whenever we look at ourselves, we see this outer portion, our skin, that we take care of a lot. So in that skin, so covered with this skin, what person this monk do? Nanapakaras. Nanapakaras means different kind, means so many varieties, so many things. So asuchino, impurities, all the dirty things or all the bad things what we see. Vachavekiti, look that. So in this body, from our below the hair and above the feet, covered with this skin, this monk, what he does, he look all the impurities what it exists in us, what is exist in him. So where he is developing this meditation, he is developing on his own body, not on someone else. Not on that is very easy to look at someone else and see that this is how they look, how they are living. That is very easy. But looking at ourselves is always hard, always difficult, always. For some people, looking at in mirror reflection of themselves also sometimes become a little bit difficult, So we just look at all over, means like just a face, skin, that's all. But going in deep, that is a little bit difficult for. So what the Supreme Buddha mentioned, this monk look at his own body. And what he see, that in this body, atti imasmin kai. Atti means exist. Imasmin kai, in this body, kesa, hairs, loma, the body hair, nakha, nails, danta, teeth, tacho, skin, what we have, mansa, meat, nahar, all the veins that we have. Then bones, bone marrow, kidney, heart, liver, and this all the things, all the parts we see, we look at them. If you have, I don't know you have seen or not. If you go to the butcher's house or butcher's place, or you may have seen on the videos also, when they kill the animal and then they get rid of all the things in the stomach contents and everything. So how does it look? Does it look good? When you see any animal from outside, it looks nice. Some we touch them on that. But once all the intensity is outside, everything what is in the stomach, that how does it look? Same thing for the animals they have, same thing we also have in our body. Looking at that. So what attachment we have toward these impurities, And that is the truth of ourselves, not more than that. Because Buddha did not say that this particular one thing, that this eye is you, or this ear is you, the nose is you. No. When everything is together, that. So we cannot get attached by one feature. Just I am attached with my eyes, that's all. There is no attachment more than that, no. When we say myself, then everything, all these impurities also become a part of that. It keeps us alive. So looking at this, all the impurities, Supreme Buddha says that this person is developing mindfulness on body. Because mindfulness, when we develop, it just cannot be only for outside form. It should be everything is inside. And that is mentioned. So Supreme Buddha mentioned there are 32 variations or 32 impurities you will find in this body. So those are all 32 impurities. I think so you have done the meditation of impurities. Have you? Yes. So remember those. All the impurities are there. So looking at that, Supreme Buddha says, the bhikkhu develops the kayanupasti in that way. And then Supreme Buddha gives a beautiful simile also for that. What he gave, that how this monk developed this, mindfulness on this body. So he gave, Seyathapi bhikkhave ubato mukha, because similar to this line, that ubato mukha means there is a kind of bag which has on both sides it is open. So in this bag there are several kinds of different things are there. So it is filled with different kind of grain or different kind of food things, like salina. So there is a rice also there, vihina, the wheat also there, mugga. So there is a different small beans that we eat, those. So mustard seed, or you can say the sesame seeds. So all these different seeds are filled in this bag, in this pouch, which is open, which can be opened in the both ways, in both sides. So what this person do, he opened that bag and look inside. What? That in this bag there are different kind of grain exist. So he take in his hand, or he look at it, that Oh, I can see there is a there is a rice grain, there is a wheat, there is a mustard, there is a dal, or this kind of things he look at. So if you go for the grocery shopping, when you bring the bag at your home and you keep it on your countertop, and anyone come and look at that bag, they can easily identify if there are some of the things. Oh, I can see the bread above, then there is a parsley, there is different things you can see above the bag. Means you look at that and then you can understand, okay, this exists. For some things, you have to remove which is under, you have to open it properly, and then you have to like, okay, and then we remember, oh, I forgot to bring this thing. That happens sometimes. So same way as you open the bag and look at all the groceries what you have brought, or someone can come and they look at these groceries and then see, okay, these things are there. Same way, this person also, this monk also, what he does, he opened this body in that way, that in this body, these are things exist, and he developed the mindfulness of that. He becomes aware. So my body is not something that we can call completely clean. All the impurities what we see outside, these are exist in us. Like uh, hygiene things we call. So this all thing exist in us. Being aware of that is developing the mindfulness on body. That's Supreme Buddha mentioned. So that is called the Pilipul Bhavana. What it is? So he developed the Pilipul Bhavana in that. And he develops so inside and outside also, looking at that continuously. This meditation, he exists that looking the every feature how it is. Like we love our hairs, we take care, we do shampoo, clean, we look at the dandruffs, and then we use gel, or all the things we do, even when with the age, we try to color it, dye it. So why? So this hair is a one part of our life. And we love that, how we protect this our hair. But what happens when it falls? Do we treat this hair as we treat when it is attached with our body? No. We think it's just useless things. We just grab it and throw it in the dustbin. That's all. But the attachment toward our hair, when it is attached to our body, it's very strong. Very strong. If someone come and ask you, okay, shave your head now, how will you feel? That attachment we have toward our hair. It's not easy to shave your hair. Shave our hair, it's not easy. That thing's a criminal. So attachment with hair, it is exist when it is in your body. So the same thing, the attachment what we have toward ourselves, our body, if we look at clearly how the nature of these things, then you will understand. Then same thing goes for then our body here also. Same way, our nails, we always clean, manicure. Think why? When we cut down, nothing, but still we love, doing nail polish and everything. That mindfulness goes for then. We forgot all the time that in our body also this exists a sweat, the urine, and then toilet. These all things exist in this body. Being mindful of that make us aware of ourselves. The attachment what we have, we can detach. That is called Kayanupasana. Then Supreme Buddha mentioned further Dhatu Manasikar. The next thing, so Dhatu Manasikar. Dhatu Manasikar means element. Element meditation. So what it is? Punajaparang bhikkhave bhikkhu imasmin kaye yathatitang yathapanihitam dhatuso pacchavekati. Means in this body, whatever exists as it is, what is there as it is, he look at them. Dhatu so pachyavekkati, the elements he identify. Attimasmin kaye patvi dhatu. So this body is made with patvi, the soil element, earth element. Then apo dhatu, so the water element. Tejo dhatu, the fire element. Vayu dhatu, air element. So this, in this body, whatever exists, this monk look it as it is there, divided by what? So this is the patvi, or this is the earth element. This is the water element. This is fire element. This is air element. So this monk, what he does, he divide this entire body in these four parts. And what way he did divide? In this patvi dhatu, what kind of patvi dhatu, what kind of earth element exists in our house? So whatever that we look at, like the skin, it is, we can touch. So this is patvi dhatu. Our hair, our teeth, our nails, our entire, the flesh, our bones, those are element of patvi dhatu, earth element. So this person, when he developed the 32 impurities, for extending it, or if not doing the impurities, but if the person is developing the mindfulness of dhatu manasika, the element, he develops in that way. What? So in this body there is earth element. So what is the earth? He decides. Then he look at the apo dhatu, the water element. So whatever the water in this exists in our body. So it goes the blood, then the what it called tears, that urine, what we have, the sweat, all are the water element. Looking at that, when we see the water element, we just consider the blood is there, that's all, or whatever we drink, that much. No, in this body there are different water. Blood is one, but what we digest from that, there is also different kind of acid is there. That is also come into the water element. Seeing or remembering that in this body, that those are also exist, is developing develop the mindfulness of on body. Then tejo dhatu. So everything, the heat what we have in our body, the digestion system, that how it works, it gives us, our body is warm. As long as we are alive, breathing, this body stays warm. But when we stop breathing, what happened? Get cold. There is no heat anymore exist. So what all the heat what we have in our body, that is called the fire element. Then air element. So all the holes what we have, and the air passes through. It fills our lungs. Even in our stomach also there is a gas. So these are all the air elements. When they all come together, combine, then this person becomes. So identifying them individually, it is also developing the mindfulness of. So if you are developing the kaya anupasthana, remember, you can develop by doing the breathing meditation, or you can develop by posture meditation. You can develop by being mindful, awareness of meditation. You can develop the foulness of body, the impurities, 32 impurities, you can see that. Or you can develop by element meditation. Everything is leading toward the same direction. Just choosing the path, it may be different meditations you can do on that. So what he does, he relate these things, he relate this body with outer elements also. Like in this body there is an earth element, He look at this entire world and he see the earth element is there. So the nature of these both elements are similar. There is no difference in that. The soil what you see and this soil what you see in your body are equal in that way. The water element, it's also the nature is floating, just running one direction. In our body, water also have a same nature. Heat, what it does, same nature in our body also exists. The air also, same nature. So he relate the outside world inside with our inside body. So with he relate the person, relate himself with this all the elements. That is the call developing the element meditation. Buddha give the simile also. They say, Seyatapi bhikkhave dakku gogatokova gogatakanteva siva. So there is a skilled butcher or his apprentice. He killed the gaving vaditva chatum mahapate in the square. I don't know. There is nothing you will never see in the square that someone has killed or the butcher shop. But in India, it still exists. If you, I think so, some of you visited India, so you may have seen that there is a corner in every square there is a butcher shop, and they give the live meat. Today they have killed and they give it like there is no frozen thing here. I think so. Now the culture is starting, but nothing. So every time you go in the front of the shop, you will see the same thing. Some of the time they kill in front of you, and Buddha is mentioning to relating that thing with ourselves. Like there is a skilled butcher or his apprentice. What he does, he bring the cow and he slaughter them, and then by making parts of it, the body. So every part when they cut, they put in proper places. The meat is proper, ribs is in somewhere different, all the stomach inside, they throw it away or clean them. So those things. So dividing that, you can see all the feature exists. Buddha says in the same way, how this person divides all the body parts, same thing you divide this body into these four elements. That this is the earth, this is the water, this is fire, this is air. So dividing in that way, that is called developing the mindfulness of body. So remember that. And then this much you understand. Okay. So Satipatthana, it's a little bit hard, or the Kayanupassana, it is difficult because it's directly related with our body. Some of the time, it's very hard to imagine our body in this way. It's really, really hard to develop. But for the monks, that is the first meditation they learn when they get ordained. How the ordination ceremony happens. You may have seen that the person goes in front of the chief monk, and then when you sit down in front of the robe, that the shaving or what it called, that they keep on head, and they call it Kesa, Loma, Nakha, Danta, Tacho, and they repeat in backward, and then again. So that is the monk. Be aware when you are becoming monk or when you are getting ordained. Remember that this body has that nature. So that is the first meditation they assign you to do it. So the attachment with this body we can overcome. So looking for the lay life in same way, it's a little bit hard, difficult. So for this, you will need the proper practice or consistency. Means continuous, you will need to do that. So remember. Then it goes the next meditation called Navasivati. So the 9 different postures are there. It's very hard for today to look in that way, but online so many pictures are available, so you can relate them with this. The next step is goes a little bit more deeper and further to develop the mindfulness of body. By what? To knowing the nature, that how this body transforms from here to there. So when we are alive, we can identify that when we are very young, we do not have this much big body, we come in, if you see the cradle in there, we can imagine our body. Okay, that much small I was. Some of the time, I think so. I have seen in a couple of videos that they mention, when you open your garage or when you open your attic, that time the small shirts, small socks, and boots are there, and then we relate. You talk with your mother and father that, oh, I was this much small. All the memories rush same way. So how we do that, from this to we have become to there, and then we go, okay, now I'm growing old. So when you have gray hairs, when your skin have a little bit, it's not that much attractive in a way. So we accept that. In this Navasivatika, it goes beyond that. That this all attachment what we have toward our body, what is the nature of this body, what happened to this body, knowing that, looking at that is called Navasivatika. Nava, it means 9. There are 9 ways this body transforms. Sivatika means with a dead body. So 9 things happen, the 9 changes that Buddha has asked to look at to the monks. So all the attachment toward this body can transform. So there is a beautiful story about it. There is a one monk in the city, and in that city there was one. She was a disciple, but she was a prostitute called Sirima. Beautiful. So, and she was devotee. So what happened? All the time she asked from the bhikkhus to come to home, and they offer the food. So one of the monk from far region, he heard that there is a Sirima Devi. She's very beautiful, and she offered the dana. So when the monks has talked about her that she is beautiful, he developed desire toward her. He developed that, okay, I want to see her. He's a monk, he's faithful and doing that, but the attraction, knowing that this exists. So he planned, okay, I want to go. So he traveled from here to come here, and he asked from monks, okay, when I will get the chance to go to her home. Like in the Buddha's time, there were hundreds and 500 monks, 200 monks, 250, some of the time 1,000 monks live in the one place, in the one monastery. So there are several people, invite them to their home, and not all the monks can go whatever they choose. So there was a one particular monk or couple of monks were there. They assign them, okay, you will go to that house, you will go to there. These are invitation come, that invitation. So he was waiting that he will have a chance to go to the Sirima Devi's house, and now he thought that, okay, this week I will have a chance to go. He was very happy to see that, knowing that, okay, I am going. But when he go to her home, she was a little bit sick. So she couldn't come to offer the dana by herself. So this monk was frustrated. Okay, I came from this far and I waited this much long to see her. But she has spoken some words. She asked forgiveness from Bante that I cannot come there, but I've asked forgiveness. Her voice also mesmerizing one. So this monk has started imagination. We have that, Someone explained something and we started to, okay, create all the things in our mind. So he started based on that voice. Oh, if the voice is this much beautiful, how that person will be. So from that day when he come back, he stopped eating, all his mind was that I want to see her. That's all. That happens, It's not that when you become a monk, all the desire fade away. Not like that. You know, it with the time it may, but still the same desire as the lay people have, same desire has to be the monk also. They have to deal with it. That's all. So she felt sick, and now he said, okay, now she has fallen sick. What will happen? He was waiting that she will get cured. You know, okay, she will get cured, and I will visit her again. But unfortunately, she passed away. This monk fell down. He said, okay, she died. All that he traveled there, he heard her voice, and all they imagine that how much he could for what he heard. Based on the voice, he has created a beautiful picture of that. And so much lust or desire for her is existing in this monk. Supreme Buddha know proper very well, and then he saw that the monks reported that Bante, this monk is fallen sick, he's also not eating, nothing, doing nothing. So the Buddha asked from the king that do not cremate the body of Sirimati. Keep keep her body for a couple of days. And after 3 days, bring that body to the square. So the king was also disciple of Supreme Buddha, and he did the same thing. What happened? He invited monks also. Okay, come. So this sick monk was thinking, okay, I haven't seen her body when she was alive. I will see it now. So he travels there. And the Buddha was there also. All the people gather. And then asked, okay, who will gonna pay uh, $50,000 for her? No one was there. 10,000, 5, 1,000, then $500. Even ask anyone is there who want that body with the penny. No one wanted that. Take free. No one wanted. That prostitute, she was very highly paid one. But after that, no one is taking, because within 3 days, what happened with our body, we know very well. We go to the funeral houses, that body we see alive, like that is a business, to preserve that body for a couple of days. After that, that is all the embalming is there, all the liquid, everything, the chemical is there, and the makeup is there, that is it. But true nature of that, we cannot imagine. Within 3 days, our bodies start to smell very bad. It swells, it feels. So Sirima Devi's body is also something like that. And the Buddha is asking, anyone want that? No one. Buddha says, that is the nature of our body. No one. This monk understand that. From that moment, immediately understand what the Buddha want to say. And he developed mindfulness in that moment. Attain enlightenment. Attain enlightenment. That happens once you realize what is the true nature. Then the attachment with that you can overcome, you can get rid of. And when you see the truth, you can attain the enlightenment too. That thing happened from the nervous system. So this Navatsivatika has 9 points, like Eka says, Ekamatangva, Diyamatangva, Tihamatangva, Uddumataka, Vinilaka, Vipuka Jata. So imasmin kai upasangharati. Ayampiko kayo, evam dhammo, evam bhavi, etang anatito. What he does, he look at the body. So this meditation is begin like this. Any monk who wanted to develop the Navasivatika, they go to the cemetery. You may have known that earlier time, in Supreme Buddha's time, The monk preferred to stay in cemeteries, not like that we have the beautiful cemetery, not like this, there's all the beautiful things is built, the grass, the green land, what we saw, nothing like earlier time. People, what they do, they take the dead person, they drag it to the forest or the special place they have built, they go and throw that body outside. That's all. That's all. There was no cremation in that Buddha's time. It happens only for the rich people or like the king or the, very rarely that happened. Now it's common, but earlier time it wasn't. They just throw the body and that's all. So these monks who wanted to develop that, they prefer to stay, to spend the time in there, so they can develop the mindfulness, they can see the truth of this body. So what had happened, that this person goes to the cemetery and he look what, that there are the dead bodies, but 1 day, 2 day, 3 days old, that vinilaka. So now this body has getting blue, like our bruises happen sometime. So dead body also change the color. So he look at that, the body that which has changed the color, now it little bit soft, and he relate that thing with his body. What he does, he look outside and he relate that things. My body's nature also is same thing. Like this body after a couple of days is changing, transforming from, my body is also the same nature. This also going to change in that way. He look at that. Then he see inside and outside. That is the first step. Then what he do? He look at the body, the nature, see in that his body is thrown and now it is eating. Now the animals are started to eat that body. How? That kake hiva, kajamana, kukule hiva. So the birds or the crows, they come and they eat. The dogs also, they also come, they eat, or the what it called? Yes, yes, jackals also. Yeah, they also come, they also eat. So different animals, they start to tear apart this body. So that process began, and this monk is sitting there and looking at. If you imagine, we will feel, oh, what is happening, because it's very hard to see that, now that we have made that ourselves look beautiful, but the nature in that way, it's very hard. You will see, if whenever you go, if you find a dead person or dead animal along the road, it's very hard. Immediately we close our nose because smell is also bad. Sometimes the animals also tearing apart. Same thing is happened to our body also. And Buddha asked, that is the first step to see. So today we cannot do that. You cannot go to the directly cemetery and look at them. No, but you can Google or you can imagine. Okay, this is the nature. There are a couple of pictures or a couple of meditations or videos are there. You can see them and relate that, okay, that is the nature of the body. Then this meditation goes further and further like this, that first day they see the body is swollen, then the smell is started, the bad odor is there, that next see that animals are tearing apart, they're eating the flesh. Then the next one is goes that there's all the bones are sometimes is shattering, the breaking, and all the meat on the bones, it is visible, the blood is visible, an animal is tearing apart limbs by limb, everything they taking here and there, that happens. Then the body, that eaten flesh is there, but some of the time the blood is still remain, and the bones are shattered. The hand is somewhere else, the leg is somewhere else, the intestine also is also somewhere else, and still the animals are eating. That happened. Then it goes a little bit further, that now the bones are starting to dry up. Then goes further, that these bones also what happened? It becomes some of the time they shatter the small parts that, and then it goes a little bit further, and they start to decay. It takes longer time to that, you know. Like uh, if you have seen, the bones are very strong, I think, but after a couple of years, it becomes very smooth. You know, it can, you can break it very easily in that way. So the monk look at that, the transformation of this earth soil into the earth, everything he sees in that way. So even bones, after a couple of years or months, years and years later, this bone also become dust. Now we burn, and that's why we don't see it much. But, or if it is in coffin, we don't see much. But it happens naturally. It happens naturally. It takes longer time. And this monk related that what I am looking at, the nature of the body. So when I love myself, that I have a stronger attachment with this body, he sees that, okay, this nature of this body is like this. Then what attachment I can keep toward this? I cannot stop this body to happen, to become like this. So he developed the mindfulness on body in that way. So this is the true nature of the body. So that is called Navasivatika. So all the 9 parts, all the 9 things after that, it's happened. And that is called Kayanupassana. You know, so after the Navasivatika, the entire, so he relate his body from inside to outside, outside to inside. And he developed meditation in that. Atti kayotiva panasasati pachupattita hoti. So he develops with the mindfulness of this body, this as it is, this body is pachupattita hoti. Yavadeva jnanamattai patisati mattai anisitocha viharati. So looking at with the knowledge, the mindfulness, and with the wisdom, you look at and is develop attachment with it. You know, nachabikave loke upadhyati. Evam biko bikave biko kaya anupassivihati. So he developed the mindfulness of body in the body in this way. So the Kaya Anupassana has all different. Begin with the breathing meditation. That is easy part. For doing it little bit hard, but that is the one part that we are very familiar with. But the others are a little bit hard to do. But those are all equally important to develop the mindfulness of body. So remember that. When you are doing the breathing meditation, that is the mindfulness of body, yes. But breathing meditation you cannot do for all the time. You can do only when you are sitting in one position, keeping your back straight, and that's all when you do the breathing meditation. But rest of this part is also the part of the Kaya Anupassana. So for developing that, you have to be aware. So from now on, means when you are the next week, entire week we have, develop this mindfulness. Like be aware of your all the postures that I'm standing now. You don't have to stop your work. You don't have to do something. Just be mindful that I am standing here. It's for the joy. When she's feeding her cats, I am giving food to them. That's all, Or like the Harry behind, I can see the beautiful kitchen. When you're cooking, be mindful. I am cooking in this moment. So, like when you're chopping the onions, remember that how we are aware that not to cut ourselves, that mindfulness, same thing. Be mindful of that. So all the walking here, there, doing your work. It's not to stop your work to remember, no. Continuous work, but keep in your mind that I am working. And that's all. From work, different thoughts will arise to your mind. Be mindful of that. Okay, now my mind is somewhere else. That's all. That's all. So you cannot be mindful all the time, but keep that in your mind. Then, every time when you sit down for meditation, remember this body, all the impurities in your body is there. Then elements, try to develop the element. The outer element of Patvi Dhatu and inner one is not different. It has the same property. Same things are there. It is attached with our body, that's why we call ourselves. But the nature of the element is equal. So remembering that, then develop nervous breathing also. Remember what the transformation of body, it happens. It will help you to see clearly what the body is. And developing mindfulness on body is that to detach yourself, to look clearly what the nature of it. And that is called the Kayanupasana. So we have the 1 week to develop that. Next week we will do the Vedana Anupassana, the second part of the four foundation of mindfulness. Vedana Anupassana, what kind of feelings people has mentioned, and how to see them according to the time, and how to relate, how to develop that Vedana Anupassana based on the body. We will study next week. Okay, I hope that you understand this much. 3 meditations we see. Remember that.